What happens when a girl marries a stranger to escape her debts only to discover he's been hiding dark secrets of his own? Can love blossom amidst lies, or will the truth shatter their fragile bond forever? Hi there. My name is Lily, and I'm 22 years old. I live in a small town where everyone knows everyone. It can feel a bit claustrophobic at times, but it's home. My life has been a whirlwind lately, especially since I got married to a guy named Ethan. He's a bit of a mystery to me, and honestly, our relationship has been a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes I feel angry, and other times I see glimpses of a real connection that leave me hopeful. Love is complicated, isn't it? Anyway, I'm here to share my story with you. It's a journey of navigating through lies, trust, and the search for something real. Come along with me as I unfold what it means to rewrite my truth and build a future filled with honesty and love. I was sitting quietly in the park, my backpack heavy with textbooks and my mind filled with worries. Student loans, bills, family debts, you name it, I felt it. As I tried to enjoy the sunshine, a voice startled me. "Do you mind if I sit?" I looked up. A tall guy with messy brown hair and kind blue eyes stood there. Sure, I replied, unsure of what to think. "My name's Ethan," he said, plopping down on the bench beside me. "I'm Lily," I answered. I shifted my backpack, feeling the weight of my problems pressing down like a mountain. "Nice to meet you, Lily. You seem lost in thought," he observed. I sighed. "Yeah, just trying to figure things out. Life stuff." "You and me both," Ethan said with a chuckle. "But I have something unusual to ask you." "What do you mean?" I tilted my head, curious but cautious. He took a deep breath. "What if I offered you a way out? What if I asked you to marry me?" My heart raced. "Marry you? I don't even know you." "Exactly," he exclaimed, throwing his hands up. "But hear me out. It's my mother's dying wish for me to get married." "Wait, what? A dying wish?" I was stunned. He nodded, eyes filled with emotion. "Yeah, she's been sick for a long time. All she wants is to see me settle down, happy. If I don't get married soon, I won't be able to fulfill her wish." I blinked, trying to process everything. "So, you're just asking a stranger to marry you?" "It sounds crazy, I know," he said quickly, "but I can help you too. I know you're struggling. We could help each other out." "Help each other?" I frowned. "How does that work?" "I pay off your debts if you agree to marry me. It could be a real marriage in the eyes of the law, but we can keep it simple, no strings attached." My head spun. "You're saying I'd get out of debt for a fake marriage?" "Exactly." He smiled, sincere. "Think about it, Lily. You wouldn't have to worry about money anymore." I felt my chest tighten. This could be a way out, but it sounded so strange. "And you? What do you get out of this?" "I get peace. I get to fulfill my mother's last wish, and I can focus on my future without feeling guilty," he explained, his voice low and serious. I sighed deeply, feeling overwhelmed. "I can't believe this is happening. I barely know you." "I know, and I understand if you want to say no," Ethan replied softly, "but think about your loans, your family. This could change everything." For a moment, I just stared at him, feeling torn. What if I say yes and regret it later? "Then we can figure it out together. It's a chance, Lily. Are you willing to take it?" I looked away, trying to weigh my options. My family needed money. I needed a way out. But was this right? I I need time to think," I finally said, my heart heavy. "Take all the time you need," he said gently. "Just know the offer stands. I'll be here if you want to talk." I watched him walk away, my thoughts swirling in a chaotic storm. Could I really marry a stranger? Was this the answer to all my problems? My heart raced and my mind was filled with both hope and fear. What would I choose? The day arrived when I had to meet Ethan's legal advisor, Mr. Turner. My hands were sweaty with nerves as I walked into the small office. The chair in front of the desk looked inviting, yet terrifying. Mr. Turner looked up from his papers. "You must be Lily," he said, adjusting his glasses. Yeah, that's me," I stammered, trying to sound confident. He gestured for me to sit. "Ethan told me you're considering the marriage agreement. We need to go over the details." I nodded, swallowing hard. Right. The contract. It felt so surreal. A contract for a marriage that wasn't really a marriage. Mr. Turner shuffled some papers. "Let's start with the basics. This contract ensures that both parties agree to keep the marriage private. No one outside of this room should know." "Why's that?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. "Ethan's family has a reputation to protect. They can't know he married a stranger, especially under these circumstances," he explained. I felt a mix of fear and doubt. "So, it's like a secret?" "Yes, and it's important to follow all the terms," he said firmly. "If either party breaches the contract, there can be consequences." I stared at my hands, feeling the weight of the decision. Consequences? What kind? He sighed. "For you, that could mean paying back any money we help you with, plus interest. For Ethan, it could mean losing his inheritance. It's serious." The thought made my stomach twist. But I need this help. My family needs it," I admitted, my voice trembling. "Then you need to understand the gravity of what you're about to do," he said, glancing at me with serious eyes. "This isn't just a game." "I know," I whispered. "It's just that I have no other options." Mr. Turner was quiet for a moment, letting me think. "Right. Let's go over the rest of the terms." He started reading out loud. Words like obligations and secrecy filled the room. Each word made me feel even more anxious. "What if we want to get out of this?" I blurted out. "Ending it isn't simple," he warned. "You could lose everything gained from this agreement. You must be sure about your decision." I felt my heart race. What was I getting into? I know it's crazy, but I really want to help my family. "Understandable," he nodded, "but don't act out of fear. Make sure this is what you want." Taking a deep breath, I looked into his eyes. "What if I say yes today and regret it tomorrow?" Mr. Turner leaned forward slightly. "You need to think carefully." I imagined a life without debt. My family would finally breathe again. But was it worth the risk of marrying a stranger? "Okay, I'll do it," I finally said, my voice steady but a bit shaky. "I'll marry Ethan." "Good choice." Mr. Turner smiled slightly. "Now let's get it all in writing." As he handed me a pen, my heart sank. I slid the pen across the paper, signing my name. This is really happening, I thought, a mix of hope and fear swirling inside me. "Congratulations, Lily," Mr. Turner said, looking pleased. "Thanks," I said softly, a lump in my throat. I had just signed my future away in a way that felt both thrilling and frightening. My dreams were closer, but the secrets loomed large. I wondered, where would this leap take me? The first few weeks of living with Ethan were strange. Our new life together felt like a secret hidden behind closed doors. I would wake up each morning in a quiet, empty house, and Ethan would already be gone to some unknown job. "Where do you go all day?" I asked him one morning as I sipped on my coffee, trying to sound casual. He looked up, eyebrows slightly furrowed. "Just work stuff. You know how it is." I nodded, though I didn't really know. I felt a distance between us. He was kind of like a ghost in his own home. One night, I decided to reach out. "Ethan, can we talk about your mom?" I asked hesitantly. I wanted to understand more about him. He tensed. "What about her?" "It's just that you mention her sometimes. I want to know how she's doing." He frowned and looked away. She's barely hanging on, he finally said, his voice low. Oh, I said softly. I didn't want to press him, but I felt a wave of sadness wash over me. I don't want to talk about it, he replied flatly, the coldness creeping back into his tone. Okay, I whispered. I hated that I felt shut out. I wanted to help him somehow, but he seemed so distant, like a wall was built between us. The days turned into weeks, and I still felt lonely. I tried to fill the silence with small talk. How was your day? I would ask whenever he returned home. It was fine, he'd reply, almost monotonously. I wanted to scream, this isn't fine. We're married and you're so closed off. But instead I would smile weakly and serve dinner, hoping things would change. One evening, while I was sitting on the couch flicking through channels, I caught Ethan staring at the wall. What's on your mind? I asked, my curiosity nudging me. Nothing important, he replied quickly, turning his gaze away. How can you say that? It feels like you're carrying the world on your shoulders, I said, frustration creeping into my voice. He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. It's not easy for me, okay? I'm just trying to keep it together. Then let me help you, I pleaded. I didn't sign up for this either. I thought we were in this together. You don't understand, he said sharply, his blue eyes narrowing. You don't know what it's like to be in my shoes. Aren't we supposed to be partners? I shot back, tears stinging my eyes. I never asked you to step into my life, he snapped. This was a business arrangement, remember? The air felt electric with tension. I felt hurt and confused. It is more than that for me, I said, my voice trembling. We live together. We're married. Ethan turned quiet again, face unreadable. I just need time, he finally said, softer this time. Time. That's what I kept hearing. I understand, I replied, feeling deflated. But I'm still lonely, Ethan. I don't know how to change that, he admitted quietly. That admission knocked the wind out of me. He didn't have the answers, and neither did I. I felt like I was reaching out for something, and he was holding back. I wished I could break through that wall. Just try, I whispered, my heart aching. He nodded slowly, but I could see the distance in his eyes. Each day felt heavier, our secret marriage slowly turning into a lonely experience. I wondered if I had made the right choice after all. Would we ever find a way to connect? Today I felt a whirlwind of emotions as Ethan told me we were visiting his family's estate. I want you to meet my mother, he said while driving, his expression serious. I clutched my seatbelt tighter. Is she feeling better? I asked, hoping there was some good news. He didn't answer right away. She's been a bit unwell, but I want you to remember her as she used to be, he replied quietly. There's something off here, I thought, but I squeezed out a smile. I wanted to support him. Okay, I'll be good. When we arrived, the estate was grand but quiet. Big old trees surrounded the building, their leaves whispering secrets in the wind. This place feels like a museum, I whispered as we walked inside. It kind of is, he said with a half-smile, tension etched across his face. Ethan led me to a large sitting room. It was filled with dark furniture and old family photos. As he talked, my eyes wandered along the walls. That's when I saw it, a memorial photo on a small table. I stepped closer, my heart thudding loudly. Ethan, I called out, a shiver running down my spine. What's this? He turned and his expression shifted to one of fear. Don't look at that. I have to know, I said softly, feeling my breath hitch. The date on the photo read, in loving memory of Mrs. Kane, 2023. My mind raced. She's gone? Ethan's face turned pale. Lily, I can explain. Explain what? You've been lying to me, I shouted, my voice filled with hurt. You said she was barely hanging on. She was. He shot back, desperation evident in his tone. I thought she might recover. I didn't want you to pity me. Pity you? I wanted to understand. You didn't give me a chance. I felt tears of frustration building. Why didn't you just tell me? I didn't want to drag you into my grief, he said, running a hand through his hair. It's been hard for me. I didn't want to share that pain. Instead, you lied, I yelled, feeling betrayal surge within me. What was I, Ethan? A way to fulfill your mother's wish? No, he exclaimed, stepping closer. You're more than that. I didn't think I could handle losing her, and I didn't want to lose you too. I shook my head in disbelief. You don't understand. I want to be there for you, but I can't if you keep shutting me out. He looked at me, pain etched in his eyes. I was scared, Lily. I thought I could protect you from my sadness. Protect me? This is just hurting us both, I said, feeling defeated. I'm sorry, he whispered, looking down. I didn't mean to hurt you. I took a step back, my heart racing. You should have trusted me, Ethan. I deserve the truth, no matter how hard it is. He looked up at me, and for the first time, I saw a spark of vulnerability. I know I messed up. I just didn't know how to handle any of this. Maybe talking could help, I suggested, my voice shaking, instead of keeping everything inside. I promise to be honest from now on, he said quietly, almost as if he didn't believe his own words. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. I hope you mean that. I can't be in a marriage built on lies. He nodded slowly, regret filling his eyes. I want to make this work, Lily, but I need to let you in. I don't want you to feel lonely anymore. As I looked at the memorial photo once more, I felt a mixture of anger and sadness for him. We were married, but I still felt a veil between us. Ethan had lost so much already, and I wanted to help him heal. But how could we move forward if he kept his past locked away? I hope you're ready to share your heart, Ethan, because I want to know the real you, I said softly. The air was thick with tension as I looked at Ethan. You've got to tell me the truth now, I demanded, my voice steady but filled with hurt. What's your real reason for marrying me? Ethan's shoulders slumped. He rubbed the back of his neck, his eyes darting away from mine. Lily, it's not just about my mother's wish, he finally admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. What do you mean? I asked, confusion creeping in. He took a deep breath, his usual confidence crumbling. I needed a marriage, well, more like a partnership to gain sympathy. It would help secure trust from my investors. My heart dropped. So you used me to look good in front of your business partners? I felt betrayed, my stomach churning. No, it's more complicated than that, he pleaded. I didn't want to feel alone facing my family's name and my mother's passing. I thought people would see me differently if I was married. Seriously, that was your plan? I said, my anger rising. I felt the weight of his words, heavy and cruel. I thought we had something real. I thought we did too, he shouted back, his voice breaking. So all those moments you shared with me, were they just an act? I asked, tears welling in my eyes. Every kind word, every smile felt like a lie now. No, I promise, he said, desperation filling his tone. I meant it. I thought you'd help me look stable, but it became more. I started to feel things for you, real feelings. Real feelings? How can I trust you after this? I felt my heart ache, betrayal slicing through me. You lied to me from the start. Ethan's face crumbled, and for a moment I didn't recognize him. I know, he shouted, his voice raw. I'm sorry. I was scared of losing everything. I thought if I could maintain the illusion of a good life, everything would be okay. But then you came along and it became so real. Why didn't you just tell me? I asked, my voice shaking. I was embarrassed, he confessed, tears pooling in his eyes. I didn't want you to see me as weak. I thought you'd leave if you knew. Leave? I said, bewildered. I was trying to help you. All I wanted was to know you, to be a partner. He stepped closer, looking heartbroken. And I pushed you away. I've messed everything up. Suddenly, the strong facade he held began to crumble. I didn't mean to use you. It just spiraled out of control. He wiped his eyes, his face flushed. Lily, I didn't realize how much you meant to me until I almost lost you. Ethan, I whispered, my mind racing. You should have trusted me. You should have let me in. I didn't think I deserved you, he said, his voice shaking. But I love you, Lily. I do. His confession sent shockwaves through my heart. Love? Could he truly feel that way after all the lies? You love me? After everything? I know it sounds crazy, he said, his voice trembling, but it's true. I didn't plan this. It just happened. I was afraid that if you saw the truth, you would hate me. I shook my head, trying to sort through the mix of emotions. It's hard to trust words when actions have said otherwise. I understand, he said softly, but I want to change that. I want to show you how much you mean to me. Will you let me try? My heart pounded in my chest. I wanted to believe him, but the hurt was still so fresh. Ethan, time to figure this out? He nodded slowly, tears glistening in his eyes. I'll give you all the time you need. Just don't walk away, please. I nodded, feeling the storm of emotions swirling inside me. I won't walk away yet, but we have a lot to figure out. As we stood there, silence filled the room, heavy with unspoken words and feelings. The truth was out, but could we find a way to heal together? After Ethan's confession, I was left standing there, my heart a tangled mess. Part of me still felt furious. How could he have kept all this from me? But then there was that other part, the part that remembered his vulnerability, the way he broke down in front of me. Lily, please, Ethan said, breaking the silence. Just give me a chance. I want to prove to you that I'm not the man who lied. I've made mistakes, but I can change. I sighed deeply, feeling the weight of his words. Why should I believe you? You built everything on lies. My voice was sharp, filled with hurt. He took a step closer, his eyes pleading. I know, but my past is complicated. I had to learn to survive in my family. It was all about appearances. People expect so much. I didn't know how to be honest. What do you mean? Tell me, I urged, my curiosity battling my anger. What's your past? He rubbed his temples as if trying to gather his thoughts. I've always felt like I had to be perfect. My parents pushed me to succeed. Love was never something they showed. They cared about appearances more than feelings. Honestly, that sounds terrible, I said, my anger shifting to sympathy. But it doesn't excuse your lies. I know, he exclaimed, frustration creeping into his voice. I was so afraid of being vulnerable. I thought if I could keep you at a distance, it would protect you from my messy life. But you didn't protect me, I shot back, my eyes narrowing. You just pushed me away. I was scared, he admitted, his voice softening. I didn't want to lose you before I had a chance to love you. I was afraid you would see me as weak and leave. I felt the conflict inside me growing. Could I understand? Could I forgive? Ethan, you have it all twisted. Love isn't about being strong. It's about being honest. You're not weak for admitting you have problems. He looked at me with such vulnerability, and for a moment, I felt my heart tug toward him. Please, Lil, just let me show you that I can be better. Just give me time. I promise to try. I shook my head, feeling a flood of confusion. But what if I want to walk away? What if I just want my freedom back? My voice wavered as I said the words. Walk away, he echoed, his face falling. You can't mean that. I don't know what I mean, I shouted, frustration bubbling over. I feel trapped in this mess. One minute I'm angry, and the next I see you, raw and honest, and it breaks my heart all over again. Then let me fix it, he begged, his eyes shining with unshed tears. Let me prove to you that I can be the husband you need, that I can be worthy of your love. I turned away, feeling hot tears pooling in my eyes. I don't know if I can trust you again, I murmured. The thought of leaving felt both freeing and terrifying. Ethan stepped closer and placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. You're not just another step in a plan for me. I care about you, Lily. I want to create something beautiful with you, but I can't do it alone. His touch sent shivers down my spine, but I didn't want to let him see how much it affected me. How do I know this isn't another game? I asked softly. You don't, he admitted, his voice breaking. But you have to take a leap with me. I can't promise it will be easy, but I'm willing to fight for us. As I stood there, I felt a tug between the past and the future. Could I trust him? Should I take that leap? Or would it be a leap into darkness? I need time to think, I finally said, my heart heavy. Please, take all the time you need, he replied, his voice laced with sincerity. With those words, I felt the distance grow again. I couldn't shake the feeling that my heart was standing on a precipice. Would I fall or would I fly? The future was uncertain, but I knew I had to choose wisely. I spent the night tossing and turning, my mind racing with thoughts of Ethan. The anger from our last conversation mixed with those moments of hope and connection we shared. I kept replaying those times when he'd made me laugh, those quiet moments when he looked at me like I was the only person in the world. Why did he have to complicate everything? I thought, closing my eyes tightly, but a small voice whispered, because he's human, just like you. I couldn't ignore the way he'd looked last night, so broken and sincere. I cared for him despite everything. Could I really just walk away? A part of me was tired of running, tired of being afraid to love. The morning sun broke through my window, casting warm rays across the room. I got up and looked in the mirror. You can do this, I told myself. You can take a chance. I took a deep breath, trying to calm my racing heart. I made my way into the living room, feeling a sense of purpose. Ethan was sitting on the couch, looking lost in thought. His head turned as I entered the room, and his eyes lit up slightly. Hey, he said softly, hope sparking in his voice. Hey, I replied, sitting down across from him, trying to gather my thoughts. We need to talk. I know, he said, his face tense. I'm ready to listen. I nodded, trying to find the right words. Last night was tough for both of us. I felt angry and you were scared, but I've been thinking about everything we've shared, the good and the bad. There are moments I wish to hold on to. What do you mean? He asked, leaning forward slightly, his expression curious. I hesitated, then forged ahead. I'm willing to give us a chance, but it has to be different. We can't play games anymore. Ethan sighed deeply, relief washing over his face. You're serious? Yes, I want us to start fresh, I said. But there's one condition. We need to promise to be honest with each other. No more hiding, no more lies. He blinked at me, surprise crossing his features. You want to be honest? Absolutely, I replied firmly. No more pretending. I want to know you, the real you, and I want you to know me, too. I can do that, he said, leaning back in the couch, his expression softening. I'm sorry for everything. I promise to try my best. I bit my lip, feeling hopeful yet nervous. And let's talk about the future. What do we want together? Ethan smiled a little, a flicker of light returning to his eyes. I want to build something genuine, a life that's real. I want you to be included in all of it, not just now, but always. I felt my heart flutter, warmth spreading through me. I want that too. I want to create our own truth, filled with love and friendship. Lily, he said, his voice sincere, I never meant to hurt you. I've always appreciated your kindness, and I want to ensure you feel loved and valued. Tears welled up in my eyes. Thank you, Ethan. I've been scared, but I see the potential in us. I believe we can rewrite our story. He reached across the space between us and took my hand. We'll write a new chapter together, he promised softly, intertwining his fingers with mine. I really care about you. In that moment, everything felt right. The tension slowly melted away, replaced by hope. It wouldn't be easy, but together we could face whatever came our way. Let's make a pact then, I said, feeling a surge of energy, a pact of honesty and love. Ethan grinned, a genuine smile that lit up his face. I'm in. Let's make it happen. With that, a new beginning hung in the air, shimmering with possibility. I knew we were still on shaky ground, but this time, we stood side by side ready to take on the world together. Thanks for joining me on this emotional journey. Now I want to hear from you. If you found yourself in a situation like mine, married to someone with secrets, would you stick it out and try to build a future together, or would you walk away to protect your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments below.